Hi, my name is Shawna Nolan, and before I begin, I'd like to introduce my audience. Sean, how many pets do you have? I personally have quite a few. I like to call it my mini zoo. I have two fish tanks, a dog, a cat, two turtles, a bearded dragon, a guinea pig, and hermit crabs. Think about the pets that you have had or have. Humans create a special bond with their animals, and it's hard for people like that to understand how anyone could ever hurt an animal. Unfortunately, it happens way too often. In 2010, there were over 1,000 cases of animal cruelty in the United States. How many animals have you ever mistreated or witnessed being mistreated and did nothing about? Hopefully none, but if so, after this speech you will know how you can help. Today I will talk to you a little bit about what animal abuse is, and more specifically, the different kinds of animal abuse that occur in the U.S. I will also talk to you about the punishments animal abusers receive and the people who enforce the laws. Throughout my speech, I will give you several statistics and tell you how you can help stop animal abuse before it goes too far. First, I would like to talk to you about animal abuse and what it is and the different types. Many people have often have different interpretations of what is considered animal abuse. Identifying abuse or neglect can be harder than it seems. It is important that you look at the entire situation to determine if an animal is being abused or neglected. Often people feel that an animal is being mistreated because they would not treat their animal in that way. However, that doesn't mean by the law that the animal is being mistreated. According to the MSPCA's website, cruel but legal practices include dogs kept permanently tethered on short chains, unable to properly exercise, dogs and cats confined to dark basements but otherwise properly cared for, and highly social elephants and other wild animals living solitary, stress-laden, and unnatural lives in zoos. Have you ever walked past a pet store and seen cute puppies in the windows? They are likely from puppy mills, which have been around for a long time. Puppies from puppy mills are often sold on websites as well. Puppy mills house dogs in small wire crates and seclude them from outside world, with little to no human contact. Dogs have zero companionship with their owners whatsoever. After dogs are past the breeding age, they are often killed. Animal hoarding is not as well known as puppy mills, however, it is just as bad. For those of you who don't know what animal hoarding is, it is the ownership of several pets, often the same kind. Typical animal hoarders have several, sometimes even hundreds of the same animal. These situations are very unhealthy not only for the animals, but for the hoarders as well. Dogfighting is another well-known animal abuse type. As many of you know, this is often done with pit bulls, which is why they get such a bad name. Animals often act the way they are trained to act, therefore any animal can be aggressive and even deadly if trained to be. Now that you have an understanding about what exactly animal abuse is and the variety of types, I will begin to talk about punishments and laws that are in place for people who mistreat animals. Every state in the United States has a law against animal abuse. Unfortunately, the laws are not as strict as they should be, and they really only exist to keep people within the moral range of behavior. Over the past several years, people have recognized that animal cruelty has become more serious, and something has to be done. The Animal Welfare Act is a federal law which provides regulations for research facilities, state and private run shelters and pounds, transportation of animals, and stolen animals. It was originally passed in 1966 and has been amended multiple times. Now you ask yourself, well, what happens to the people who mistreat animals? Unfortunately, more than often, not enough. For the first offense in most states in the United States, the punishment is anywhere from $500 to $150,000 fine, depending on the severity of the case and the amount of animals involved. For second offense, animal abuse offenders often get jail time. Lastly, I want to tell you what you can do to help these innocent animals and tell you a little bit about how some animals can recover from abuse and be moved to great new loving homes. Often, in minor cases of animal abuse, animals can be rescued, rehabilitated, and adopted by new loving and caring pet parents. I would like to share a story of a dog recovered from being abused that I have found on a website called Animals Abused and Abandoned. The story was submitted by Robert, a volunteer with an animal rescue organization in New York City. Dolly is a 6-year-old female pit bull. She came to our shelter on October of 2009 because she was scheduled to be euthanized at a local city pound. She was a perfect candidate to be put down because she was blind. Her head was cracked with a baseball bat. She had possible brain damage. Her right ear was almost hanging off and was apparently lit on fire, judging by the burns and scabs on her body. Hers is not really a unique story in animal rescue, but she is possibly the sweetest creature I've ever encountered. Especially after what she's been through. She's so innocent that I'm sure she thought she must have been a bad girl and deserved to be punished. She has zero aggression and actually adores any type of human interaction. She also lacks the ability to frown. What I mean is that from the moment she awakes to the time she goes to bed at night, she has the most genuine smile. She also loves to play with other dogs after she has the opportunity to meet them and determine that they play fair, since she can't see. When a person or canine that she knows enters the room, she immediately starts to buck like a deer, twirl, and frolic like a puppy. We have a volunteer who recently had a death in the family who relies on playing with her every day. He calls her a lifesaver, and actually she would probably qualify to be a therapy dog. We had her spayed, and her head, ears, and body are long healed, but the blow to her head seemed to affect her sight permanently. Regardless, my volunteer is going to adopt her since he has permission to take her to work. Dolly's story has a happy ending thanks to the volunteers who rescued her and treated her for her injuries. It is important to remember that Dolly is one of many animals who fall victim to the abuse at the hands of humans. After hearing the story about an innocent animal, I hope you have the heart to report any abuse you may see in your neighborhood or anywhere for that matter. In order to help innocent animals like Dolly, your job is simple. All you need to do is notify your local humane society or animal control. To find the number or location nearest to you, simply type your town followed by Humane Society into the Google search and you will find a number to contact. It's that easy, and just think that one simple phone call can mean life or death for an innocent animal. I hope after learning a little bit about animal abuse and the punishments, you will keep an eye out for those who can't speak for themselves. Remember, you can help save an animal's life simply by calling and reporting any suspicion of abuse.